Trump's confidence and grasp of policy in this press conference explains why he's so wildly popular right now. And that's the subject of the riff. Really, isn't it nice to have a president who can effortlessly stand up at a press conference and make statements and take questions for 70 minutes sans teleprompter? Sans, S-A-N-S. That's French for without a teleprompter. Unafraid, confident, holding to his principles. That's what President Trump did this morning in Mar-a-Lago, as Griff Jenkins described, and I think it's a wonderful thing to see. And he led off by letting his Japanese investment pal, Masayoshi Son, from the SoftBank investment fund, pledge $100 billion to go invest in America First technology, okay? Shows people are listening to Mr. Trump's pitch to bring new industry to America and presumably be rewarded with a rock-bottom 15% corporate tax rate. How about that? We already know that Mr. Trump is talking to world leaders around the globe, moving towards his priorities to end the Russia-Ukraine war, or hell to pay if he doesn't get a Hamas hostage deal, or closing both the northern and southern borders to illegal immigrants. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau flew down to Mar-a-Lago for supper a couple weeks ago, although that may have been his last supper because his deputy PM just resigned and he is sporting a low 20% approval rating. But let's see how that plays out. Anyway, today's presser, President Trump repeated his tariff warning to Mexico and Canada, and his trade bulldog, Howard Lutnick, was standing right there, just in case anybody doubted Mr. Trump's commitment. Trump blasted the Biden administration for not telling the truth about the drones craze sweeping the U.S., but he did tell us the administration knows where they came from and suggested it wasn't a hostile adversary. Meanwhile, conservative columnist Ben Domenech believes the drones are following FAA regulations in a planned exercise sponsored by the Pentagon to test out new drone systems. Ben points out to a press release this past June that nobody seems to have paid any attention to. It's very interesting. We'll try to cover that later in the show. Anyway, there's no reason why the Bidens are hiding information about this drone story. No reason at all. Mr. Trump's going to be defending Robert F. Kennedy Jr. for HHS Secretary. He's even considering a pardon for New York City Mayor Eric Adams, who has been treated unfairly by the Biden Justice Department because the New York mayor is saying he'll cooperate with Trump policies to deport criminals. And President Trump added he'll have to look at all the facts. He was very mellow in suggesting that people will get along with him much better in this second term than in the first, because they know he'll make good on his policy promises, and they respect his electoral mandate for change. However, he suggested he may bring a lawsuit against the Des Moines Register, whose crazy poll on the eve of the election showed Harris +3 in Iowa, while Trump wound up winning Iowa by 14. And he called that election fraud and interference, and I think he's dead right. He criticized the Bidens for selling border wall parts for 5 cents on the dollar, knowing that he's going to need money and equipment to finish building the wall. He called it almost a criminal act for them to do that. Perhaps the only thing missing was the final decision on whether to delay Trump tax cuts 2.0. That'll get resolved soon enough. We're going to talk about that in the next segment. He's not afraid to make decisions, however. He's not afraid to defend those decisions, and he's not afraid to speak plainly and truthfully to the American public. That's why his transition is wildly popular, his approval ratings at record highs, and he continues to control what I call the new American zeitgeist, which means spirit and energy. And that's tonight's riff.